Welcome to our YouTube channel. Another astonishing day to enjoy some nice races in Jerez. Race 2 will start in a few minutes with the Bulgarian Lion Nikola Tsolov starting in pole position once again, followed by Sebastian Ogard in P2 and Francesco Braschi in P3. Yesterday in race 1 was the Italian driver Braschi, the one that conquered the first step of the podium, letting us know that he is back on duty, doing amazing performance and with batteries charged. Remember that Braschi started the season very strong, but after his home race in Monza, he wasn't able to step into the top 3. Nikola Tsolov was second, while Javier Sagrera was third, conquering his third podium of the season. Esteban Mazon unfortunately wasn't that lucky, and even when he couldn't add any points to the classification, he remains the leader of the overall standings. So it's time for you now to stay comfortable and enjoy the race. Now it's time to my colleague Jake to entertain you and giving you all the details of the race. Hello, Jake.
Hello and welcome to Jerez for this second race of the weekend. My name is Leo Gorman and it is fabulous to have you here on this warm day in southwestern Spain. Beautiful 29 degrees Celsius today, bright sunshine, not a whole lot of wind, certainly no rain, no of the dreadful weather conditions that we've experienced around the continent over some of the summer months. As we see Sebastian Ogard second on the grid for MP Motorsport. Very good qualifying this morning. Qualifying just behind yesterday's pole man, Nikola Tsolov. Tsolov, of course, top spot today as well with a 1 minute 38.279, third on the grid. Race winner from yesterday, Francesco Braschi. We'll be hoping for more of the same. Had a very good start, although started from the front row yesterday and was able to get past Tsolov, who had a bit of a sluggish start, it must be said. But once Braschi was in the lead, he really never looked like giving it up. Bruno Del Pino, the leading rookie in today's race, fourth on the grid. Very good effort. All those drivers in the top 4 within 1/10 of a second of the pole position. Now yesterday, as mentioned, we had a race win for Braschi, as we see Tisanopol into Puvazak, lining up 5th on the grid for Campos Racing. But it was a bad day if you were the championship challengers, Esteban Masson, the championship leader, we'll say, and you maybe not a great day if you were one of his challengers, Mari Boya, who you see on screen now. Boya started 5th in yesterday's race, had a tumble down the order on the opening lap and could do no better than 9th place and 2 points, which is tricky in itself. But Masson actually didn't finish at all. He crashed off, hit the barriers and didn't score any points on the day when Boya really needed to nail some scores. he wasn't there to do so. See a reminder of the top 6 on screen there now, and then on row 4 you got Jose Antonio Garfias, and then Georgios Markogiannis in 8th, Maston 9th, and Daniel Nogales in 10th, Miran Pinkasov, and that is Javier Sagrera getting away from 12th. Sagrera was actually on the podium yesterday. He finished 3rd. He's going to have a difficult time to repeat that feat today, although in saying that, in some of the other races we've seen this weekend, we have seen several drivers make some quite significant gains through the field, thanks pretty much to strong starts. Zilliman Zenfari did not start yesterday. He hopefully will start today. He goes from 13th on the grid. Nick Gilkes will get away from 14th ahead of Dario Cabanelles, the first EUROCUP-3 entry from Santilok Racing. Sebastian Kravland will get away from 16th. Jorge Campos starts 17th, while Niels Kuhlens will get away 18th and last on the grid for Jerez Racing. Now, it's not the most straightforward of grids. You may have noticed several drivers slightly out of position, and a lot of that was to do with track limits. 9 drivers had times deleted from this morning's qualifying session because of track limits. A couple of them had lap times deleted repeatedly, which has caused them really to maybe seem a little bit lower down the order than they normally would. But it is what it is. The field you see in front of you is the field that got the dimensions of the track absolutely right. It will be interesting to see, with Masson starting down in 9th and Boya starting up in 6th. Will Boya be able to make some hay? Now, it must be said, Boya's only scoring 9th yesterday has allowed Sebastian Ogard to drop, or to overleap him in the standings. Ogard is now 2nd in the standings with 119 points. Ogard's still not won a race so far this year. He's picked up 4 podiums. He's been incredibly consistent. But not been a race winner as of yet. Moya 3 wins and 1 podium, but some non or low scores there. Bracci has taken 2 wins along with 3 other podiums, but had a nightmare couple of rounds in around the Monza and Zandvoort events. Did incredibly well in the opener in Spa, took a race win and a 2nd place there. Well, he's taken 1 race win so far this weekend. Be happy to take another podium. He'll be even happier if he can get another win. 26 points on offer, 25 for the win, a bonus point if you can register the fastest lap while finishing inside the top 10. Several drivers getting onto the grid, warming up those tyres, doing some burnouts. Field lining up. Man with the green flag, the marshal waves the green flag. The engines, the revs rise, and the green lights go. And it is once again a poor start by Solov, one of the drivers going on the grass. Can't quite tell who it is, but it doesn't really matter because for now Sebastian Ogard has taken the lead ahead of Nicholas Solov. Solov again away very slowly, and Solov, I think, he's held on to 2nd place. Bruno Dapina up to 3rd. Bracci drops down to 4th place with Mauri Boya to 5th position ahead of Inter-Pruvasac. Garfia 7th. Masson has also claimed the position. He's now 8th place ahead of Marco Giannis. Suleiman Sanfari has risen from 13th to 10th. And we've had an accident already, opening lap, and that looks like it's going to be a safety car because that is a pretty damaged car. As we see, still several battles for position, a bit of a dive bomb. And that, I think, was Inter-Pruvasac onto Boya for 5th position. And a safety car has now been called, now that the field has fairly line astern, and we've gotten past that overtaking opportunity. The safety car has been called. That car is stranded. Can't quite tell who it is, but I do believe it may well have been Pinkasov. And it is Miran Pinkasov, who looks like he's pulled out with a little bit of damage on the right front. Pinkasov for Polo Motorsport. A little bit of a difficult season so far, it must be said. Pinkasov has scored points on several occasions, but it's minor points. A couple of 8ths, a 7th, a 9th, 2 10ths. 2 finishes outside the points and 1 retirement. Has left him down 13th in the standings. Well, he's not going to improve from that today. It's his 2nd retirement of the season, and he does so on the opening lap of this race. Hopefully we'll get a replay, see exactly what happened. Meanwhile, Ogard leading this race. As I said, he's not won a race so far this season. He's been incredibly consistent, 4 podiums. Will he take his first EUROCUP-3 race win today? Ogard, he's only actually had 1 finish outside the top 5. That was an 8th place in race 2 at Spa. Other than that, as I mentioned, he's got podiums. He's not sure if he can go 4ths, 5ths. Disappointed Pinkasov exiting his Polo Motorsport car. Absolutely fine. Just the feel of disappointment from the young man. Hopefully we'll get to see what happened. Not quite there. Bracci wasn't able to take advantage of Solov's sluggish start. Del Pino was able to dive through instead. That was to Sanopol Interpuvizak on the inside of Boya. And Boya lost another position. And did he lose a 3rd? But effectively, once Boya got on the outside of the circuit and his car was weaving from left to right, it was just absolutely gripless. Someone's either drifting or braking very, very hard in the background. But as soon as Boya had lost that traction, he was just going to lose another position, and he did. He lost it to Masson. Jose Antonio Garfias was attempting to try and get alongside and make it 3 overtakes, but Boya had just enough traction at that stage to hold Garfias, his teammate in MP Motorsport, at bay. A disappointment for Championship Challenger, who started 6th, went up to 5th, now down at 7th. The Championship leader, who started at 9th, already up to 6th place. Boya was hoping for something that was very much the opposite. Coolins, meanwhile, Neil Coolins, the Jerez racer, has pulled into the pits, as you see on screen now. Looking inside the cockpit, he wonders if something may have come loose. Doesn't seem to be a huge amount of quick work going on there. Hopefully we will get the safety car period headed away quickly. There's an investigation into the incident with Pinkasov, but no indication yet whether they're looking at anyone in particular as any other culprit. Also possible, or this is completely supposition, total conjecture on my part, but there is also the possibility that Pinkasov may have gone off himself in an attempt to make a move, but that's guesswork. Safety car driver getting plenty of laps this weekend. Didn't get out too much yesterday in the EUROCUP-3, but in the Spanish Formula 4 event, he's had plenty of mileage and enjoying himself thoroughly, I'm sure. But Ogard behind, will be biting at the teeth. He'll want to get this race going again. Biggest gainer on that opening lap, Dario Cabanillas, from 15th up to 11th place for Santalok Racing, and it's a very good story for Santalok Racing, having only entered the fray of single-seater racing around July of last year when they entered a Formula 4 race at Spa-Francorchamps for the first time. The team very much famed for their efforts in GT racing over the years, and I think they've done a little bit of ice racing as well. Coulin's been pushed back into the garage. Whatever's wrong with that car is pretty terminal, so we're down to 16 racers. But Santalok Racing made a foray into single-seater racing with a run at the Spanish Formula 4 event at Spa. They have since, for 2023, joined several other Formula 4 championships. They've already completed a season in the UAE F4 Championship and are winning a few cars in Spanish F4, so it's good to see them also make an entry into the EUROCUP-3 category. Although just one car, putting their foot in the water, doing what they do and learning. And it'll be interesting to see if they expand that effort later on this year and into next season. See Pingasov's stricken car being pulled away. Not a huge amount left of this season, of course. Next week we will be at Jerez. We're at Jerez this weekend. That's be stupid. Next week we're at Estoril in Portugal, on the west coast of Portugal, for round 6 before going all the way across to the east coast of Spain to race at the Ricardo Tomo and Valencia. That's in 2 weeks' time, the middle of October, and then the championship finale in the northeast of Spain, the Circuit of Catalonia in the village of Montmeló, just outside Barcelona. That is the middle of November, and it's all very, very nicely timed because this race is about to get going again. The safety car is coming in this lap. Is lap 5. Start of lap 6, you see this game going again. It's Sebastian Ogard gets his foot on the throttle, safety car pulls into the pit lane. Potential challenges for position in the mid-pack. But Ogard looks fairly safe as he come onto the start. Finish straight, Saul off in second place, chasing behind. Then you got Del Pino. Ratchi potentially looking at an opportunity, but not this time around. It's Rapuvizak in 5th, Masson, Boya, Gafias, Marcus Giannis in 9th, and Zuderman Sanfari rounding out the top 10. No James is in position at that restart, but unlikely really. Drivers going to be building up the pace, building up or rebuilding their composure to possibly look at making a move down the back street at Dreisac, the infamous corner where Jacques Villeneuve and Michael Schumacher had their collision in 1997. Gosh, I remember that very, very well. But we are seeing Ratchi possibly make a move, and DePino moving across and around the outside. Ratchi tries it, but DePino, they do bang wheels. I think that was a right front into the side pod of Del Pino, and it is done. I think Ratchi has damaged his right front wheel. On the right-hander, the exit of the right-hander at 7, Ratchi got caught out. He'd kept his foot in it, but there wasn't enough space, there wasn't the gap. And he's gone into the side pod of Boya, and I think he's damaged his right front wheel. And I think he may have to hold his hands up to that one, but has Del Pino taking damage as well. Enter Puvazak up to 4th place now, at Masson in 5th, Boya 6th place. Ratchi in the barrier and out of the race, out of the car. Yellow flags are out. This is probably going to be another safety car because that car is beached. Yeah, I'm afraid Ratchi's probably going to have to take that one. He was running out of room. And and eventually did run out of space. And no opportunities there. Yellow flags are out in the corner as we are watching Cabanillas battling with Marco Giannis over 9th position. And I do want to, Pino did look a little bit wobbly there, but that could just be he's pushing incredibly hard. It is a waved yellow flag in turn 8. If he'll try and get it cleared, because it is a rather large gravel trap, and I do wonder if they'll try and get it cleared under the single waved yellow flag. Do for the moment seem to be continuing. The fastest lap of the race, by the way, has been set last time around by Sebastian Ogard at 1 minute 40.328. A good 4/10 quicker than anyone else in the field. He's got 0.8 of a second gap over Solov. Bruno Pino a further 1.4 behind Solov. And I'd like to say that this is really a battle between the top two, but Solov's not quite there yet. Solov finished 2nd place yesterday. I'm sure he'll be hoping for a win today, but right now it does look like Ogard has got the charge on him, and something going well off the track. That is Masson, who's now put himself under pressure by Boya. Boya pulls out. Can he go around the outside of turn 1? He can, and he does. Boya up to 6th place. Garfias just behind. Garfias maybe just a little bit too far behind to actually force the issue. Masson trying to look for a way past. Goes to the inside of 3 and then swings back to the outside. The Boya has too much of an advantage. That really started with Masson going far too wide in the final corner, getting onto the gravel, getting dirt and detritus and all that muck onto his Hankook tyres. And he's still going to be struggling slightly. Garfias will sense an opportunity to have a go at Masson for 6th position as we come down the back straight. Masson, meanwhile, is not giving up hope of possibly retaking 5th position. Goes to the outside. Can he get around the outside of Boya? As Boya takes the middle of the road. No, he can't. Masson takes the inside line of 7, hugs the curb, wobbles a little bit, regained traction surely by now. Masson is charging very hard and working very aggressively, and he got onto the curbs. It's pulled him out very much onto the grass and the gravel, and really that is his own mistake. There are new curbs this weekend, so-called Misano curbs, and some of the drivers have had a little bit of difficulties. They've kind of been caught out and captured in a sense, and we have, that's Masson. It's Masson, and he stopped. And for the 2nd time this race weekend, the championship leader will not score any points, but the championship leader has stopped out on track. His visor is open. He's talking to the pit wall, I'm certain, and absolutely disappointed. Now, what's happened here? As Masson had a go at Boya. No, he hasn't. That's Garfias. He's gone down the inside. Garfias hits the right way, and the car gets airborne. Gets missed by one of the following Campos Racing entries. It's spun right around, is pointing the wrong way down the circuit, and Masson very much a victim of Jose Antonio Garfias' over-exuberance. Zuleman Zenfari was the car who actually navigated the spinning machines and found his way through into 6th place. Garfias is still running in 7th. The safety car is out once again. And now there are several drivers who will be looking at this going, actually, we can really make hay today. Ogard, of course, will be rubbing his hand with glee. He's 2nd place in the standings at the moment on 119 points. If he takes the race win and the fastest lap, that'll be 26, which will put him to 145, which will place him only 6 points behind Masson. Coming into next week's event in Estoril, bearing in mind, Ogard started the weekend nearly 50 points behind Masson. There will be words, I'm sure, with Garfias. There will be an investigation. It was a bit rough and ready. Let's put it like that. That was a bit of a rough and ready attempt at a move. But Garfias is still running. for the moment. And presumably, no damage on his MP Motorsport machine. I've not actually been able to have a look. I'm surprised he got away with that without any kind of front wing damage, maybe an end plate or something like that. Ratchy, meanwhile, is 16th. He set a lap time of 2:35, so last time round, something happened in the melee there that I missed completely. I do apologise. I do believe something may have gone with Brashy while we were watching a replay anyway. But anyway, the second safety car of this race. Ogard still leads. He's been absolutely imperious so far today. Fantastic start from second on the grid. Was already leading almost pretty much by the time they crossed the start line. Such was the amount that Solov bogged down. And of course, Brashy, I'm an idiot. Burr is in turn 8. He's in the barrier because he went off because he made a mistake trying to get past Delpino earlier on. Now this is the incident that we're up to safety car now. Garcia is tipping Masson into a spin, tapping him slightly airborne as well. Masson has every right to be absolutely furious with that. But we are going to get going again right now. As Ogard holds the field at bay, waiting to get his foot to the throttle to restart this race. By not going straight away, he's putting pressure on Solov because Bruno Delpino is there, as is Entrepuvazak, as is Boya, as is Zanfari, as is Garfias. And now we get away to restart this race. Ogard trying to drive Solov into the hands of Delpino. Didn't quite work because Solov got away from Delpino quite easily. Solov very much on the rear wing of Ogard. He's going to chase him through 4 and 5 and down into 6, and then on the long run towards the back straight. Solov trying around the outside, looking to distract the MP Motorsport racer. Ogard onto the back straight, looks as if he has enough of a gap. He's weaving to try and break the toe, and it's not quite, has quite worked out. Oh, we have Entrepuvazak coming down the inside of Delpino, and he has a nosedive. Absolutely fantastic, but he's gone a little bit too wide. Will Delpino retake the position? He can't. Entrepuvazak keeps the inside line, maintains the position. Boya is there as well in 5th position. He's trying to get to the inside of Delpino, can't quite make it because Delpino covers the inside line of 8. Entrepuvazak up to 3rd place. Having started 5th, had a tricky start and has driven his way back up the order. Fantastic move, so by Entrepuvazak. A little bit of a daredevil move, but fantastic move nonetheless. Entrepuvazak has had 1 podium in EUROCUP-3 so far this season. He's looking to add a 2nd. And now in the position to do so. Ogard continues to lead, 10 laps in the books, now on lap 11, half a second ahead of Solov. Fastest lap by Ogard that time around, 1 minute 40.328. A good 4 tenths quicker than Solov in 2nd place, who said his fastest lap of this race so far. Entrepuvazak running in 3rd. Battles right down the order. This is the bottom end of the top 10. Nogales, Gravland and Gilkes. Marco Giannis is there as well. Jorge Campos. We've had several little issues with the transponders this weekend, so do not worry too much. If suddenly it looks like a driver is shooting down the order, it often corrects itself in a few moments. We're looking now again into Puvazak. Less than a second behind Solov, but really not close enough yet to cause any kind of pressure. Solov himself 6.5 tenths behind the race leader, not pressuring the race leader, even though it is a very, very small gap. As we go to replay, this is the replay of Victor Puvazak nosediving down the inside, and my gosh. Balls not just of steel, but some other kind of metal alloy as well, I'm sure. Fair play to Bruno Del Pino. Sometimes the best art of being a racing driver is knowing when the game is up. 11 laps in, we're on lap 12. Ogard leads Solov by 0.6 of a second. Then 1.1 seconds to Susanna Boy for Puvazak into third place, with Bruno Del Pino a single second behind in fourth place. Then you got Mari Boya in fifth. Zliman Sanfari seventh. Good effort from Sanfari. He started 13th and did brilliantly well to avoid the spinning Garfiesa and Masson in their incident earlier on in the race. Guided his way through to pick up a couple of very easy positions. Thank you very much. Javier Sagrera in 8th place. He started 12th. Dario Cabanellis in the first race weekend in EUROCUP-3 for Santaloc Racing, running 9th, having started 15th, and Daniel Macalez rounding out the top 10. He started 10th. He is battling for the podium in the rookie standings with Cabanellis. Sagrera on screen now, 8th place. The fastest lap of the race for Nicolas Solov, a 1 minute 40.1. We've had a 1 second time penalty for Jorge Campos for track limits. It's 5 minutes and 45 seconds plus 1 lap remaining in this race. Bruno Del Pino leading a little bit of a guard from Boyas and Fari Garfias and Sagrera, but this is the race lead. Ogard in the orange MP Motorsport entry, followed by the green machine of Nicolas Solov. Then you got into Puvazak 1.5 seconds behind at the white Campos entry. Brilliant so far from Sebastian Ogard. There's a 1 second time penalty a moment ago for Jorge Campos. That'll be 1 second added to the finishing time. Campos in the battle for 13th and 14th position with Georgios Markianis. Second round. Final corner coming onto the start finish straight. And he's very much broken the back of Del Pino's challenge. Del Pino, meanwhile, is tracking Mari Boya, who's in 5th place, just over half a second behind. Boya looking to be making as many points as can be possible. Now, that is a 1 second penalty, time penalty, for Bruno Del Pino, which, as it stands, if it finished as it was now, would actually put Del Pino behind Mari Boya. That is for track limits. There is an additional second time penalty for Jorge Campos. He's still breaking track limits, so now he's got a 2 second penalty. And we see Solov sticking his neck out slightly. They're trying to distract Ogard. coming into dry sack. Campos half a second. He's not quite close enough to make a move, but he's trying his best to make Ogard know full well that he is there. And Solov pushing very hard, trying to break the concentration of the race leader, trying to distract him somewhat, force a mistake from his rival. And we had a 1 second time penalty also for the third place man, to Sanopol Intrapuvizak. Drivers need to start taking a little bit of care because the field is still quite close together. Intrapuvizak's not going to lose a position from that. Luckily, because the guy behind him, Bruno Lupino, also has a 1 second time penalty. But a safety car at this time of the race will close up the field very, very, very tightly, and suddenly that 1 second time penalty can become quite significant. Jorge Campos has got another time penalty for track limits. This time it's 3 seconds. He's on a mission. Let's just say that. He's on a mission. 2 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. Solov is running out of laps, he's running out of time. He's not in this championship, remember. Solov's his big championship is the FIA Formula 3 Championship, the category that supports Formula 1. He's having a bit of an up and down season there. But really showing that, he had a very, very dominant season last time out in Spanish Formula 4. And hasn't necessarily been able to carve that in Formula 3 yet. But he's a very young man, and it's important to remember that drivers aren't necessarily all going to bring those kind of results immediately. And probably a good thing that drivers do have the opportunity to gain experience for a season or so in a category without any undue pressure. Meanwhile, in the Jorge Campos saga, Jorge Campos has gained another time penalty. That's 4 seconds of time penalties for Jorge Campos, which very much would actually place him several seconds behind Giorgio Marco-Giannis at this stage. Warning flag 2 for Sebastian Ogard. So if Ogard breaches track limits one more time, he will get a penalty that could potentially cost him the race win. We're on the penultimate lap of this race. So, it's going to be one more after this. If Ogard makes another track limiter, it will cost him significantly. 1 second track time penalty for Dario Cabanelles in 10th place. That will cost him a position to Sebastian Gravland. As we now start the last lap. 1 second time penalty now also for Sebastian Gravland. So Cabanelles now doesn't lose. And that so when we do cross the finish line, let's just say several drivers are going to have a second or 2, or in one case 4 seconds added onto their time. There's another time penalty for Gravland as well, so he's 2 seconds time penalty and will lose a position to Nick Gilkis. And Jorge Campos has gone for 5 seconds of a time penalty. for track limits. Marcus Yanis making a position and gaining several seconds without having to even think about making a move. Sebastian Oegaard continues to lead on this final lap, ahead of Nicholas Solov, the debutant racer. Solov, I suppose, in one sense he'll be delighted. He's at 2 pole positions, he's shown plenty of speed, he's shown plenty of confidence in this car, but he'll be disappointed that he's not been able to win either race, as we see Oegaard come round the final corner now and exit the final corner to take the checkered flag and take his first win in Spanish Formula 4. Nicholas Solov just 0.3 of a second behind. Another podium. Gravlund and Cabanellas have taken more time penalties across the line. But meanwhile, Itripuvizak has taken the final podium position ahead of Mari Boya, Bruno Lapino down in 5th. Zuliman Sanfari, 6th Jose Antonio Garfias, 7th Javier Segura, 8th Dani Nogales, 9th, and Dario Cabanellas, the final points position in 10th. Sebastian Gravlund, 11th, Nick Gilchrist, 12th, Jorge Campos, 13th, and Gianni Marcus Yanis, 14th and last. I mean, that's subject to confirmation because there were so many time penalties in the second half of that race. We will see if the order changes. And hopefully, if the order is going to change, we'll know about it before we go off air. And Javier Segura has also got a time penalty, but he doesn't lose the position. He's too far ahead of the next place driver, Daniel Nogales, for that to be an issue. Solov with the fastest lap of the race, now pulling into the P2 board. Brilliant effort. And while, as I mentioned, his main campaign this year has been FIA Formula 3, he has shown this weekend that he is still very much a driver of absolute quality and absolute pace. Even if he has had a somewhat difficult time on the Formula 1 support slot. There's race winner Sebastian Oegaard pulling into the P1 slot, his first win of the season. And to Sanapol Itripuvizak alongside. The team manager of Jorge Campos has been called to race control for a meeting, and that can only be because his driver has got 5 penalties or track limits in that race alone. Not that that'll matter to Sebastian Oegaard, who's meanwhile being congratulated by his mechanics and team, colleagues and parents. But I mean, breaking track limits 5 times in a single race is just ridiculous, really. I mean, it's an incredible effort, incredible dedication to breaking track limits, but it's not necessarily something you aim for. Solov haven't been weighed. Putting his gear back into his Jerez machine for when it gets taken back to the pits. Folks in the background, I do believe that may well be Itripuvizak. Actually, it would be his 2nd podium of the season. And now, a quick replay. There you see Solov in the green machine chasing down Ogar, but not quite able to make it work by the end. He did try, but just was always a little bit shy. It's a couple of dive bombs in this race, but this was, I think that was an around the outside move early on in the race. Quite a bit went on, actually. There will be some questions for Jose Antonio Garcia as well over the incident he had with championship leader Esteban Masson. I'm sure we'll see a replay of that in a few moments' time. So you see Ogard leading turn one. Solov, well, didn't quite get the Masson Garcia's incident in replay. I'm sure we will in another one. Let's see the results on screen. Ogard ahead of Solov, Inter Puvazak, then Boya, Del Pino 5th ahead of Suleiman, Garfias 7th. We'll be hearing more about that. Sagrera was 8th, Nogales 9th, Nick Gilquez was 10th. Gilquez was originally classified 12th, but has been promoted.
Sebastian, congratulations. First win this year and fantastic start. What do you think?
Yeah, better late than never. So yeah, I'm really happy to finally get the first win. Yeah, I know I can do good starts and I can do them consistently. So I was quite confident before the start into T1. And yeah, I made a good start and took the lead and yeah, just kept it from there. But with pressure.
Sorry, and you have been able to manage the gap with Solov very well in the restart and until the end.
Yeah, it's not easy to overtake on this track, and there's a lot of fast corners. You get a lot of dirty air. I knew that, so I tried to manage that. And every time it got close, I just speed up a bit and then make the gap. So yeah.
Thinking in Estoril?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Estoril. It's a good track. I've been there before. Last time I raced there, I won. So hopefully we can do the same there. Yeah, hopefully.
Enjoy it and good luck.
Thank you very much.
I'm very, very happy. Sebastian Ogier, and rightfully so. His first race win in EUROCUP-3, as mentioned. Several podiums and fourths and fifths. Only one time in this season outside the top 5. It was an 8th place finish at the opening round at Spa. And he's punished Masson this weekend, there's absolutely no doubt about that. Masson went off all by himself in yesterday's race. Had a little bit of help today, but for Masson, really in both scenarios, by being in the midfield, placed him in a position where he was really going to lose out at some point if he got too close. I'm going to see this is the dive bomb by Inter Puvazak. The Delpino, absolutely brilliant by both drivers. Great move by Inter Puvazak, brilliant move by Delpino to avoid the collision, then try and retake it next time around. And we're just waiting for the podium now. That is Inter Puvazak. Chasing down the leading two. Wasn't really enough time left in the race to get after them once he had made the move into third position. Very, very windy in the paddock. We're waiting now for the podium to begin. And we're going to get the drivers. So we're going to get one podium today. The rookie podium will happen after the broadcast finishes. This Inter Puvazak on the third stop of the podium. And Solov in the second spot, and now Sebastian Ogier to take the top spot of the podium. And in a moment, we're going to get the trophies: bronze, silver, and gold for third, second, and first, and of course a gold trophy for the team representative for MP Motorsport as well. Handshakes all around. Some very, very delighted people below the drivers. The winning trophy handed out. And we will get the Danish national anthem in a moment. Congratulations to race winner Sebastian Ogier, as the Dane celebrates his first win of the season. Esteban Maston still leads the championship with 151 despite his non-finish. Ogier now with that win is second, a clear second with 1 minute 144. Larry Boyer third in the standings with 128. Rashi fourth with 114 with his non-finish. And Jose Antonio Garfias on 87 points provisionally after his seventh place finish. There, I'm sure, will be an investigation into the collision he had with Masson, as the non-alcoholic bottles of champagne are struggles to be opened. These chaps need more practice. They really need to do this at home as part of their homework so they know what to do in future. Well, that's all well and good. This has been Jerez for EUROCUP-3. Thank you very much for joining me this weekend. My name is Leo Gorman. We will be back next weekend in Estoril in Portugal for the 6th round of 8, as this championship, EUROCUP-3, draws to a heady conclusion. Until then, have a great weekend and have a great week. Thank you very much and goodbye.